folks, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, click that little red button below. If you'd like to be notified of my posts first, then click the little bell and it'll send you a notification as soon as I post. Also be sure to give my video a thumbs up, folks. Thanks very much. Alright, following the Turpin story, so they were in court for their appearance yesterday, and as I suspected, they have lengthened the process until our preliminary hearing. So we're looking at May now. There is going to be sort of a touching base with the courts in April, and they're going to give the lawyers enough time. So they're setting preliminaries to be, let me just look here, I think it's May 14th for the hearing. And there's a new status conference for May 4th. Both of the Turpins were no longer chained, so we found that to be interesting. We're not sure why yet, but neither one of them were chained, although they were instructed not to talk to each other, not to discuss anything while sitting 3 feet apart from each other. Their counts for the charges have been reduced, I'll say, because we originally started off with over 80 counts of charges, and so now we're at both the Turpins have been charged with 12 counts each of torture and false imprisonment, as well as nine counts of child abuse and 7 counts of cruelty to a dependent adult. David Turpin was additionally charged with a lewd act on a child under 14, and Louise was additionally charged with 1 count of felony assault, probably for, manipulating and keeping her 13 children chained up in various places in her home. Bail remains at the $12 million each, and there has been a little bit of news as far as visitation. I guess some of the family members have shown up at this hearing, even though they weren't there in the past, and it's unclear as to why they're sort of showing up now. There have been some visitations that have happened between the sister and the cousin of Louise, that they've gone to visit both David and Louise. Louise, her state of mind seems to be very fuzzy and unclear. She's not, she doesn't seem to be all there. She's very hopeful that she's going to get out. There's going to be family time and board games, and things are going to go back to normal. So the reality of her decisions and what she did wrong haven't really sunk in yet. On the contrary to David, who was just a complete basket case. He was bawling his face off. He couldn't control himself. He was just completely devastated, versus Louise being extremely sparkly, very happy to see them, very happy that they were there for her. Once she was finished crying, she was very finished crying. She was very happy. And she just seemed borderline insane, that she wasn't really able to comprehend the mass impact that this trial is going to take, and what it will happen to their lives, and what this is going to do for the entire family, and probably the impact that the children have just been. She's been very out of touch with that, let's just say. And as a mother, I don't think she should be. I think that that's a little abnormal. I think that as a mother, she should be very in tune with what's going on with her kids, or very concerned. So her actions don't really line up, I guess. So we will find out more as far as the journals and stuff go. There's obviously a lot of evidence in there that the lawyers each need time to review. So mid-May is when we're looking to do the preliminary hearing. There may be a continuance at that point, folks. We're not sure, but I'm hoping we'll be able to stay on track for that schedule. And then if you haven't seen the interviews that were done on 2 different continents, there was interviews done with both Louise's sister and her cousin, and that you can watch those videos online just by Googling their interviews that they did, and they'll explain some of the living quarters that they had, and how things were in the house, how their relationships with each other were not necessarily very normal, where there was things that were a little bit odd or weird, and, things that can maybe help you keep a lookout in your own family, in your own life, and your own friends, so that if you do recognize something that doesn't seem normal or seems very odd, I'm hoping that by spreading this awareness we can help be those voices out there for each other who've had it taken away by somebody. So making the phone call to an authority figure saying, listen, I'm not sure what's going on over here, but I would feel more comfortable letting somebody know about this so it can get checked on, versus not saying anything at all and it just continuing into, some massive situation that we as society or people, neighbors and friends and family could have helped but didn't, So I will keep you posted as far as the next court appearances and just any history and new stories on their lives and how they lived and where they lived and how their homes were left, and just a sort of a little bit of a history of them, of the Turpin family. I'm hoping that they will get the strictest of punishment in this situation. However, I suspect that there may be some mental issues, and that at the very least, probably Louise might end up in a mental institution versus a jail institution when this all finally cracks down in her mind as to what's happening and what she's done and the effects of all of that. I think that'll come down really hard on her, and she may not be able to recover from something like that emotionally and mentally and physically. So that may mean medications, and that may mean, being watched forever and being monitored forever, and just, being in closed quarters with authorities that can make sure that you're not going to harm yourself or anybody else. So I will keep you posted, and thanks for watching, folks. Stay safe out there. Be sure to give my video a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel. Click the little bell if you'd like to be notified of my posts first. Thanks for watching, folks. Stay safe out there.
David and Louise Turpin were in Superior Court in Riverside on Friday afternoon for a status conference to determine whether the attorneys will be ready for a preliminary hearing. The conference lasted only a few quick minutes, with the judge confirming that the preliminary hearing would proceed as scheduled. The preliminary hearing, scheduled for May 14th, will allow the judge to determine whether there is sufficient evidence to hold the Paris couple for trial in their torture case.
On the matter of David and Louise Turpin, RIF 1800348. Counsel, can I get your answer?
Thank you, Your Honor. Dave Masher, on behalf of David Turpin, is present before the court.
Allison Lau, also on his behalf.
Jeff Moore for Louise Turpin, she's present. Kevin Beecher for the people.
I'm Kimberly Garner for the people. Good afternoon. So we are already set for a preliminary hearing in a couple of months. The request is to set intervening FSC on the 20th of April. That is approved. We will be back on April 20th at 1:30. The only is set.
The Turpins have 13 children who ranged in age from 2 to 29 at the time of the couple's January 14th arrest. Prosecutors say all but the youngest was malnourished. Some were starved to the point that it stunted their growth and caused cognitive impairment. They were shackled to furniture and allowed to shower only once a year, prosecutors have said.
Thank you, Your Honor.